Hey survivors, it's Survivor Dan, and I've got some great tips and tricks for you today. This is the third episode in a series, so if you missed the first two, be sure to check those out, and I hope you enjoy. If you have a base build that lines up enemies down a long corridor or across a long beam, be sure to use AP ammo. As you can see, it'll go through one additional target. This can essentially get you 2 kills for the price of 1 bullet. But you can do even better by investing in the Penetrator perk. At level 2, it'll start penetrating 1 additional target for each level. Keep in mind, this perk only affects hunting rifles, lever action rifles, and sniper rifles. So at level 5, you can shoot up to 5 targets at a time with AP ammo. As you can see from these examples, I did get 5 most of the time, but you'll notice in my testing it's not always 5. Sometimes I would get as little as 3, but you can get the max of 5. Have you heard that putting mods in your items before selling them nets you more money than selling them individually? Well, it's not necessarily true. There's a number of caveats. Sometimes they sell for less. Here's how it works. If it's a level 1 or 2 item and you sell it with mods in it, you're going to lose money. If it's level 3 or up, it will sell for more with most mods. Level 6 selling for the most. And when it comes to weapons, all weapon mods will boost the sale price of the weapon if it's level 3 or higher. Now armor's a little different. There are some mods that always sell for less if you put them in armor, regardless of the quality, and they should be sold individually. Let's call them special mods. Don't sell these in any armor, sell them individually. And note that they have a sale price of 200. Now all other mods will boost the sale price of your armor if the item's quality is 3 or higher. An easy way to tell if a weapon or armor mod will boost the value is that it has a sale price of 80. Also, if you put any mods in primitive armor or stone tools, you won't get anything for them. And lastly, durability does affect sale price, so you want to repair the item if it's worth it. Did you know that you can stack pocket mods on your armor too? Not of the same kind, but there are different types. There's single pocket mod, a double, a triple, and a quad pocket mod. So you can have a storage bonus of 10 on a single piece of armor. Speaking of storage, upgrading storage containers also increases their storage capacity and hit points. Wooden crates start with 48 slots and 500 hit points. Iron has 64 slots and 2,500 hit points, and steel has 80 slots with 5,000 hit points. Your vehicles have storage too. The bike comes with 9 units of storage, the mini bike has 27, the motorcycle has 36, the gyrocopter has 63, and the 4x4 has 81. Oh, and don't forget the robotic drone. It comes with 18 storage. And as of the latest patch, you can now lock item slots in the drone as well. Now all your important items won't accidentally get deposited. I recommend carrying important items that you might need but don't want taking up your inventory all the time, like splints, honey and antibiotics, repair kits, or specialized armor. If you manage to find or craft these storage mods for the drone, you can actually stack 4 of them inside one drone for a hefty 48 storage. Since buildings are physics-based, they can easily collapse and you could lose all your goods and workbenches. So most people recommend having 2 separate bases. What I like to do is put a trapdoor between 2 buildings, as zombies will not see it as a valid path. This is an example from a base me and my kids have been building. This effectively separates our fighting position from our storage area with all our supplies and workbenches. You can do this by placing a door on its side. Use advanced rotation and make sure the hinges are facing up and the handle is facing down. Now you can walk across when you like. And if you put the door down, zombies will no longer see it as a valid path and will take any other route they can find. The iron version works as well. You can also make a trapdoor with 2 hatches. Use advanced rotation and put them where they are flush with the opposite side and the arrow is pointing down. Now you can walk across them or just put them down if you don't want anything to path over them. As you can see, it works just like the larger door on its side and they'll take an alternate path. And feel free to upgrade these to iron as well. Last up we have the double doors, and they work in a similar fashion. Some people like to use these in the fighting position, and when you get overwhelmed, you just drop the trap door. But don't leave it down long, as they'll start beating on your base if this is the only path in. If you ever want to check your building's stability, just hit F1 and type in DM for debug menu. Hit escape, then click on structural stability. Note that this will disable achievements, so keep that in mind. Looking to salvage some steel? The easiest sources are streetlights, gas pumps, ATMs, and vending machines, working and broken. Some harder to find and less efficient sources are safes, transformers, army munitions boxes, infested loot caches, chandeliers, and hardened loot chests, which probably have the worst ratio. This has 10,000 hit points, and I got 1 steel from it. If you're looking to get the most from your salvaging, be sure to put points into Salvage Operations for up to 100% more materials. Also, max level scavenger gloves will give a bonus of 30%, and hacker's candy will give another 20% bonus. Here's a side-by-side comparison of looting 4 gas pumps. On the right, we have Salvage Operations maxed out, max scavenger gloves, and hacker's candy. On the left, we have none of those. You'll also notice the harvesting is 50% faster on the right. As you can see, we did really good on the steel with 30 versus 10. Never want to drown again? Just make sure you're carrying some building blocks. All you have to do is throw down 4 of them like this and you'll create an air pocket. Anytime you create a roof underwater, it will create an air gap. This is just the smallest and easiest one to come up with. Well, actually, it's not the smallest. You can make an air pocket with 2 blocks called sheets, but when you're drowning, you don't want to have to open up the shapes menu, type in sheet. Then these things sometimes have a hard time lining up. Then you have to approach the correct side of them too to catch your breath, so I just stick with the first method. Remember that air pocket you created earlier? Well, now not only can you breathe underwater, but you can also use all your weapons, firearms, bows, and even throwables. You'll need to stay at the top of the air pocket, so you may have to hit the swim up button every now and then. Also, be careful with Molotovs, it's very easy to hit the roof. Are you in need of some clay? Did you know you can create topsoil for 16 clay, and you can harvest the topsoil you made for 22 clay? This works great if you're in the wasteland where clay and topsoil are hard to find. Also, don't forget to grab all those potted plants while you're looting. They can be scrapped for easy clay, and you won't have to do any digging. Speaking of scrapping, if you break down these wooden dinner chairs, they only give you 1 or 2 wood. That's 3 wood for 2 chairs. If you pick them up and scrap them, you'll get 3 wood each. If you break down these cloth-covered chairs, you'll get a little wood, cloth, and metal. If you scrap them from your inventory, you're just going to get 3 wood. With office chairs, if you break them down, you get some iron and some leather. If you use a wrench, you get iron, leather, and mechanical parts. And if you scrap them from your inventory, you just get leather, but you get more of it. Tired of your vehicle rolling away when you hop off for those valuable stumps? Well, they actually have an e-brake. Just hit the space bar to set the e-brake and they won't roll away anymore. Now you do have to come to a complete stop for it to work, and also this does not work on the bicycle. Have you ever noticed that zombies sometimes zig and zag right as you're about to shoot them? Well, it's not random. If any of you are fans of EverQuest, you'll know the enemy's path on a grid pattern. Well, it's the same in 7 Days to Die. They can run horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. But as you can see, they can't run in between. If you want to avoid this, keep an eye on your compass. If the enemy's in between the cardinal directions, they'll zig and zag a lot. What you can do is line up with one of them before attacking, and then they'll charge you in a straight line. If you're like me, you probably have your ladder 2 blocks above the ground so zombies can't get on it. But have you ever got pinned underneath one trying to jump up? Well, just put a plate or 2 underneath the ladder and you'll never get stuck again. Would you like to see health bars above the enemies? It's less realistic, but it can be very useful to know if you should run away or take that last swing. Here's how to do it. Okay, first thing you want to do is right click on 7 Days to Die and select Properties, then click Installed Files, then click Browse. Then you're going to open the Data folder, then Config folder, then the XUI folder. Then you want to find windows.xml and open it with whatever text editor you like. Then you're going to search for window target bar. So by default, it only shows the health bars in God modes, so we're going to change that to always. Save your changes, and then start up the game, and now everything will have health bars. Ever wonder what type of turrets will set off demos and which ones won't? Well, I tested them all out, and here's what I found. The robotic turret and robotic sledge will activate demos. Other turrets and traps won't. Submachine gun turret, shotgun turret, dart traps, blade traps, and electric fences won't. If you'd like to use a robotic sledge though, putting it on their left side is more effective, but not foolproof. I have seen them spin around and still get hit, or fall down and get hit as well. The same goes for the robotic turret. I moved it to the other side where it was much more effective. However, if an enemy falls and faces the wrong way, it will set them off. Also, as I learned in this video, exploding cops will set off demos as well, so make sure you target them. Some items will sell for more when you break them down. Take a radiator for instance. By itself, it sells for 40 dukes. Scrap it and you get 187 brass and sell that for 72 dukes. Better yet, smelt it down for 250 brass and sell that for 100 dukes. Now, not all items sell for more when they're scrapped or smelted, but you will always get more materials if you smelt versus scrap. Here's batteries and pipes as an example. A few other things. Dukes smelt down to brass at a 1-to-1 ratio. Engines scrap for 30 mechanical parts, which is great because you need mechanical parts to make a wrench. Oh, and if you're at a workbench and scrap something, it'll actually scrap it for you and not take up your 4 scrapping spots in your inventory. Have extra mods laying around? Even if the ability doesn't seem useful, they all boost the damage of your weapon. So even though putting a Gravedigger or Rockbuster mod on your bat seems silly, it's still going to add to your base damage on everything. Now silencers are the one exception, they actually lower the base damage. Unless you read all the books in the Urban Combat series, which removes that penalty. Same goes for tools. You may think having a flaming shovel or rad removing shovel won't help you dig faster, it will increase your block damage. So load them up with whatever mods you can find. In my original tips and tricks video, I briefly went over how heat worked, but I never mentioned that some items like the chainsaw and auger, heat is generated per click, as you can see in these examples. So if you hold it down instead of pulsing it, you're going to generate a lot less heat and get a lot less screamers. Keep in mind though that you will still generate heat for every block that is destroyed. Also, when it comes to guns, heat is generated with every shot, but if you crouch while shooting, it will reduce your heat generation slightly. As you can see, it's 0.9 per shot with this sniper rifle, but only 0.72 per shot when you're crouched. Guns will make different levels of noise, with the shotgun being the loudest per shot. One other thing, since your campfires and workstations generate heat when you use them, queue up all your crafting and cooking right before you leave the base. That way, all the heat is generated when you're gone and you won't have to deal with screamers. Quick waypoints can be very handy to find the shortest path to a location, say like an iron deposit. Or if you're really far from a regular waypoint, the icons will fade away. So you can drop a quick waypoint instead. Now getting rid of a regular waypoint is pretty easy. You just highlight the waypoint, then click delete. But for the longest time, I'm not going to admit how long, I had no idea how to get rid of the quick waypoint. Well, it's not over here with the other ones. It's this tiny flag up here in the corner. Getting overwhelmed at your fighting position? You can prevent this by spacing out your enemies. Here's a side-by-side comparison of 25 ferals at the bottom of the steps and at the bottom of blocks. As you can see, with stairs or ramps, you get a rapid stream of enemies. With the blocks, they're nicely spaced out. So instead of using stairs or ramps, try using the blocks. This will make the zombies pause to stop and jump up each step, which drastically slows them down and staggers them so you can take them on one at a time. As you can see, it takes them more than 4 times the amount of time as the blocks. Remember, the taller your steps or the deeper your pit, the longer it'll take them to get to you and the more they'll be spaced out. And that's all the tips and tricks I have today. Also in the comments, let me know which tips you've never heard before and which ones were most helpful. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out my other videos.